What's going on, guys? Welcome back to more tape recorders on the bench. So I was actually watching my very favorite show ever, Alf, and I kind of noticed something. I believe it was season 3 episode 16 called Running Scared, and I noticed this and I was like, wait a minute, that looks very familiar, and kind of thought about it for a day or two, and I went and I looked over where this was actually sitting, and kind of this part right here is what led me to it. But yeah, I guess I have Hunter S. Thompson's tape recorder as well as Alf'S. So I actually picked this up at Goodwill, yeah, for $4, not too bad. But I picked this up at Goodwill too. This is going to be coming later. Probably I'll be doing a video on it tomorrow or the next day. But seeing as this is Alf'S tape recorder, kind of want to go ahead and make this thing work properly if possible. So it kind of has all the same features as this one. They're both mono. I don't think I ever mentioned that in the Sony video that I did. But this one's actually pretty interesting. Not only because it was on Alf. Had an erase plug storage, which is gone. That's about the only thing that isn't here. I'm pretty sure I even got the cord with this too. But takes 5 Ds, and this date code would indicate that it was made on Tuesday, May 9th of 1983. No, excuse me, 1989. So that definitely falls well within the Alf time range. And I mean, hopefully we don't get struck for this, but you can literally see we will recreate that kind of that scene that I made. Well, it's working now, but with the tape in it, it doesn't rewind or fast forward. And well, we'll go ahead and give a little demo. I made this as a demo tape. Test. This is just a record, or I'm sorry, this is just a test recording. Gonna check out speed, stuff like that. And yeah, subscribe to the Blown Capacitor. It is an awesome channel. You won't regret it, I promise you. Okay, so that was recorded on here, the Sony. And I'm probably going to use this to rewind it because this one won't be able to. But just to show you kind of what else is going on with it. Like I said, it does play. It does not rewind or fast forward. Oh, test. This is just a record, or I'm sorry, this is just a test recording. It's a bit fast. Speed, stuff like that. And yeah, subscribe to the Blown Capacitor. It is an awesome channel. You won't regret it, I promise you. Definitely fast. That's good. Okay, so it's drying. That was rewind, not working. Fast forward. Fast forward won't even stay engaged. So, all right. I guess you know where we're going to go from here. Pots need to be cleaned. I have a bag of belts. Maybe we can put a belt on there or two and make the fast forward and rewind work. Kind of really what I want to do is just at least make it, or at least try to make it play at a normal speed. That would be cool. I don't really plan on using this. I'm looking for a tape player that I can integrate into my main hi-fi, but in the meantime, I'm waiting on parts for my CFD 510, which is what I'm pretty much going to basically use as my tape recorder because I'm weird, or tape player because I'm weird. And I could just get a proper tape player for my hi-fi that would like match it and look cool and all that, but I'm weird. So that is actually where, in the meantime, this is going to come in to play to help me listen to my tapes in stereo. And we just got to do a real minor repair on that, probably tomorrow. But for this, yeah, we're going to get them pots, flip it over, take off the back, take a check inside. I don't know if it's a capacitor that needs to be replaced or not having the belts, a cog. I don't know why it would run fast as opposed to run slow, but we'll try to figure it out. If I can't figure it out, it's not a big deal. Like I said, this is just cool as a prop. I mean, just knowing that it was on Alf, you know, was it's cool enough for me to keep it around. But enough yapping, and let's go ahead and let's break this apart. I'm going to be using, this is literally the greatest tool that I have in my possession. This is a family heirloom. My grandfather bought it, handed it down to my dad. My dad used it for a long time. And he passed it down to me, and I used it as a kid. I'm using it now, and can finally say it is now mine. I just paid off the last payment on it, so now I'll be handing this down to my children, and they will love it and not have to pay for it. Thank you, Snap-on. Okay, it's fair enough. Well, alright, so we are in. I was actually able to flip this board up and get a much better view of it. We'll go ahead and start over here. This is our transformer. This is where your mains lead would come in. And then there's actually, goes from the transformer. There's a little tiny rectifier down there. That little box is the rectifier. Then the electrons will run through the smoothing capacitor, so it gets a nice smooth DC current, voltage actually. Well, and current. I digress. So yeah, basically what that little box does is turns AC into DC voltage, and then that capacitor will smooth it. And yeah, it's pretty simple. These belts, there's two of them, and they are just loose as can be. You can kind of see there's still the grease from 1989 in there, and it's kind of dirty, but it's not too bad. One really good thing that I found is this trim pot. I would imagine that this trim pot has to do with the speed, or adjusting the speed of the motor for the playback. So I'm going to clean that. We're going to try to go ahead and maybe adjust it, clean it and maybe adjust it a little bit, see what happens, go one way, go the other way, and we'll figure it out from there. The potentiometers are under there. I'm definitely going to have to clean those. So the chip is what I figured it would be, and these were very, very popular chip, and they were in a lot of different things. They're pretty much proprietary to cassette players. And you know, the input and everything's set perfectly for them, so they're kind of just slap in and add the components and can be used over a multiple range of products. And the 4101, I believe it runs off a 7.5 volts and can be 11 volts max, 1.2 watt output. I'll go ahead and throw the data sheet up there because I did find it. If you can read Chinese or Japanese, I don't mean to be discriminative. I can't decipher the two, but you'll be able to read it. And if you have a general idea of data sheets, you should be still able to figure out the specs on it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean everything up on this, and I'm going to see, I think I have belts that are that size. Go ahead and change them. The one on the bottom, it really looks like it's going to be hard to change. You can't really see it, but it runs under this little metal tab here, and doesn't look like it's going to be too hard to change, but yeah, that one I might change off camera because I'm not really sure of how to get a good view at it, but this one should be easy to change. So I think that's a pretty good jumping off point, and yeah, let's do it. Okay, so I went ahead and I cleaned up the pots. I changed one belt. I didn't change the other one. It's just too hard to get to, and I'm not really going to try to take this whole thing apart just to make it work because, like I said, I'm really not going to use it. It's just a pretty cool kind of prop I'm going to be using. Down here is our trim pot. If it'll focus, there we go, right there. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play, and then we're going to go ahead. I've got this already connected into it. I'm going to spin it and see if changing that trim pot will actually change the speed, and I think that it will. Alright, this is just a test recording. I'm going to check out speed, stuff like that. And yeah, subscribe to the Blown Capacitor. It is an awesome channel. You won't regret it, I promise you. Alright, so I went ahead and messed around with it, and I think I got the speed pretty good. Oh, test. This is just a record, or, I'm sorry, this is just a test recording. Gonna check out speed. I'm not gonna make you listen to that all over again, but yeah, let's go ahead and pop this thing back together. And that's probably about as far as I'm gonna go with this. Like I said 4 million times before, this is just gonna be a prop, or you know, kind of a wall hanger, or a something to put on a shelf, and that might be about it. It's definitely really cool, but it didn't really hold up as well as the Sony did, but that's fine. For the time being, it's pretty proper, not too bad. The real question, it does rewind. Cool. Well, alright, so yeah, there's Alf's tape player, tape recorder, the same one that took Alf's dictations in the show Alf. And yeah, thank you guys so much for coming along, and I'm pretty happy about this. It's pretty cool, and kind of an unsuspecting little tape recorder, and turns out that it's kind of special, I guess. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely stick around because I got a lot of cool things coming up that we're going to be doing, and I'm pretty excited about it, and definitely make sure you come back and check that out. But for now, have a good one. We'll see you in the next one. And I love you. Don't worry, Garfield. Alf's not real.